Sometimes cars on the street or in the parking lot surprise so much that we can't help but stare. And those rare moments are what make car culture so fascinating. Companies and individuals have created some of the strangest cars in automotive history. Not every car is about mass production. Some are about passion, ego, or just plain madness. Over time, many great and unique cars were overlooked or forgotten. Today, we're bringing them back to the spotlight. Here are some of the strangest, rarest, and most fascinating cars that you probably never see on the streets anymore. 1 Mach 5. We start out with the Mach 5. We say more? A car made famous by the Speed Racer anime. This triangular-nosed vehicle was all about futuristic design and wild imagination. Believe it or not, a real-life version was made using a Corvette as the base. It was loud, low to the ground, and turned heads wherever it went. Would you drive something like that? You'd probably be challenged to a street race every day. 2. 1984 Corvette Sedan. Next, a car that Corvette purists probably want to erase from history. The 1984 four-door Corvette. This wasn't a joke or a Photoshop. It really existed. Only 6 were ever built. One was a prototype. The other 5 were built to order. To make them, engineers cut 2 Corvettes in half and welded them together, extending the wheelbase by 30 inches. The result was controversial. A Corvette with 4 doors? Blasphemy or brilliance? You decide. 3. Ford Torino GT. Between 1968 and 1976, Ford released the Torino GT, a high-performance muscle car that has fallen into obscurity. With options like the 428 and 429 Cobra Jet V8S, this was a real beast. But why did it disappear from memory? Possibly because it was overshadowed by Mustangs and Camaros. It had a sports roof, a convertible version, and even a Torino Cobra variant that screamed performance. 4. Dodge Demon 340. The Dodge Demon was controversial from day one. Even the name stirred up backlash. Available with a 198 slant 6 or a powerful 340 V8. It had devil decals and aggressive styling. Some dealerships refused to sell it due to the satanic theme. But performance-wise, the Demon 340 was no joke. 275 horsepower and a reputation for being lightweight and fast. 5. 1968 Malzen Corvair. Designer Bill Malzen wanted to beat the Corvette in performance and the Lotus in handling. He built a car in his garage for only $2,000. It was finished in 1969, registered in 1970, and then forgotten in a garage for over 40 years. In 2017, it was finally rediscovered and sold for $41,800. It had futuristic design, aluminum chassis, mid-engine layout, all handmade. 6. 1964 Ford P68. Known as the Ford 3LGT, the P68 was Ford UK's response to changing FIA rules in 1967. It looked like a spaceship. It was insanely fast when it worked. Frequent electrical and mechanical failures made it unreliable in racing. But visually it was a masterpiece, a true forgotten icon. 7. 1969 to 1970 Ford Boss 429. Released in 1969 and 1970, the Boss 429 was born out of racing regulations. Ford needed a street car to homologate their new 429 engine for NASCAR competition. Instead of building a new model, they squeezed the engine into a Mustang. That meant relocating components, modifying the suspension, and heavily reinforcing the chassis. Only around 1,300 units were made, making it one of the rarest Mustangs ever. One sold for $417,000 at auction. 8. 1994 to 1996, Chevrolet Impala SS. Built at GM's Arlington plant in Texas, the Impala SS was basically a sleeper muscle car. It was based on the Caprice police package, the same used by law enforcement. But the SS had a 5.7 LLT 1V8 engine, performance suspension, and a menacing all-black look. It looked like a grandpa's car, but could keep up with Mustangs of the day. It quickly gained cult status and is still desired today. 9. 1967 Chevrolet Corvette L88. The 1967 L88 Corvette was the most powerful and rarest of its era. Only 20 were made. Chevrolet actively discouraged buyers from ordering. Why? Because it was meant purely for racing. No heater, no radio, and race fuel only. Officially rated at 430 horsepower. But in reality, it made over 550 horsepower. It was so extreme, it was practically undrivable on regular streets. 10. 1967 Dodge Coronet R/T. The Coronet R/T was Dodge's answer to the muscle car craze. It came with a standard 440 Magnum engine, delivering 375 horsepower. Optionally, you could get the 426 Hemi with 425 horsepower. It was fast, loud, and pure Detroit muscle, perfect for drag strips. Available as a hardtop or convertible, it looked as mean as it drove. 11. 1970 Chrysler 300 Hearst. After the 300-letter series ended, Chrysler released the 300 Hearst in 1970. It was a high-performance version of a luxury car co-developed with Hearst Performance. It had a 440 engine with 375 horsepower and a unique white and gold color scheme. Only 501 were ever made. It was a rare mix of speed and status, a gentleman's muscle car. 12. 1966 Plymouth Satellite. Introduced as a premium trim in the Belvedere lineup, the Satellite got serious in 1966. That year, it received the legendary 426 Street Hemi. It produced 425 horsepower with dual 4-barrel carburetors. It was an unassuming beast, simple outside, monstrous inside. 13. 1964 Mercury Marauder. The Marauder came in 1963 and was called the 1963 1-half. It was Mercury's attempt to combine luxury with racing style. It shared engines with Ford, 390, 406, and 427 V8S. You could get it with manual or automatic transmission. It had a long, low body, the kind of car you'd expect to see in a gangster movie. 14. 1987 Buick GNX. The GNX was the ultimate version of the Buick Grand National. Built in partnership with McLaren Performance Technologies, it was limited to just 547 units. Its turbocharged V6 could beat V8 Corvettes of the same era. Black paint, black wheels, black trim, it was called Darth Vader's car. 15. AMC Javelin. AMC launched the Javelin to compete with Mustang and Camaro. Between 1968 and 1974, it became a legit contender,
and I came across a place
especially in racing. With Roger Penske and Mark Donohue behind the wheel, it won Trans Am championships. 16. 1975 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am. Only 857 units of the 455 HO Trans Am were made in 1975. It was of a mid-year edition with a shaker hood scoop and aggressive styling. The engine wasn't as powerful as years before, but it looked ready to destroy. This was the final breath of the muscle car era, A fitting end.